Hi, everyone. A good Sunday morning to you. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm. An update as we wrap up the weekend today on our early week system that we've been talking about for several days. And this will have some impacts, it looks like, on roads and travel Monday night in parts of our area, although it's not going to be a big snow producer. Let's start out this morning with our infrared satellite picture showing thickening clouds across the region today. Any sunshine out there this morning fairly fleeting. It's the coldest night of the season so far last night, but temperatures are warming a little bit with that sunshine this morning, and we'll make it into the upper 20s to around 30 later on today. All right, the radar a little bit deceptive this morning as of about 9:40 a.m. Most of this is not reaching the ground. But with a warm front heading our way today, yes, there can be a couple of flurries here and there, especially as we get into the afternoon, but any snowflakes today would be non-impactful. It's just going to end up being just a pretty cloudy and seasonably cold afternoon. Now let's talk about our system coming up for Monday. I've started our model simulation here at early in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. This is generally what the radar should look like early in the afternoon. I'm expecting not much to happen here locally as far as any frozen precipitation goes until later on in the day, but in places such as Columbus and Dayton, Cincinnati, they're going to see the precipitation sooner than we will. We're going to roll this forward and talk about what's going to happen then for the rest of Monday. And the rest of Monday is looking a little bit unsettled, but this is a complicated setup because of the temperature kind of structure of the atmosphere from the ground on up. Temperatures as this precipitation arrives late in the afternoon and more so early in the evening, near the ground where we are, it'll be around freezing. Aloft, a few thousand feet, it'll probably be a handful of degrees above freezing, and that's a recipe for precipitation other than snow to become the predominant precipitation type. So while there can be some snowflakes mixed in with this, especially as the precipitation pushes in early Monday evening, eventually sleet and freezing rain will kind of take over. I'm going to roll this forward then deeper into the evening. Here's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You see these oranges and colors we don't like to see on a model around northeast Ohio and western PA. This is going to be some sort of wintry mix. Snowflakes mixed in with raindrops mixed in with sleet pellets, and temperatures will be, again, near that critical level, right around freezing, and might even drop into the upper 20s to around 30 overnight. And as liquid precipitation continues falling from the sky into air near the ground that's 29, 30, 31 degrees, freezing rain, maybe some sleet pellets, and this is when roads could start to get a little bit slick. This is the middle of the night, Monday night, early Tuesday morning, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So we head towards daybreak on Tuesday. We'll get into kind of a dry slot. I don't think much is happening other than maybe some patchy freezing drizzle early Tuesday. The bulk of Tuesday actually will be in a fairly large dry slot, I think, before towards the end of the day, some of this light snow pivots back in. Any light snow later Tuesday should not be much of a big deal, it looks like, at this point. All right, so that's a look at the timing. This is mostly Monday evening into the overnight. What about the impacts? Now, I don't think snow is going to be a big deal because of the amount of mixed precipitation we're going to see. So you look at a couple of models here, and it has, this has hardly any snow accumulation through Tuesday morning. Here's another one. Again, maybe a half an inch, but snow is not going to be much of a story. The bigger potential impacts will be from the mixed bag of sleet and freezing rain later Monday evening into the overnight hours. Here's a look at one of our models. We call it the NAM model, North American model, showing the ice accretion across our area up to around 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. Now, most people are familiar with what 3 inches of snow or 6 inches of snow looks like, but what's 0.18 inches of ice accretion look like? Well, typically, we start to see impacts and problems with ice accretion once you get above 1/10 of an inch, and especially once you're closer to 1/4 of an inch. So we're getting close to that zone on this model depiction of, having to worry about certainly bridges and overpasses, untreated surfaces, and that sort of thing. Is this going to be a crippling ice storm that's going to bring down tree limbs and power lines? No, that doesn't look like it's likely with these kinds of amounts. Now, the NAM model, which I'm showing you here, tends to overdo ice accretion a little bit sometimes. That's one of the biases of the model. The GFS has less. This is probably a little more realistic. 0.05 here on the GFS. This is the Canadian model, 0.08. I think these amounts are probably a little more realistic. So, bottom line, enough ice to maybe make things a little bit slick, enough to scrape on your windshield if you're going to be leaving your car out Monday night. maybe enough to, again, bridges, overpasses, for them to be problematic. Any untreated roads could be a little bit problematic. Of course, the road crews will be out treating with temperatures near freezing. Road treatment will be pretty effective, but just plan on potential impacts, potential slower than average travel, starting mid to late evening on Monday and taking us through the overnight and maybe first thing Tuesday morning as well. The bulk of Tuesday then will be okay. Again, maybe a few snowflakes towards the end of the day, but that should not be a big deal. Of course, we're going to have you updated on the Storm Tracker 21 app on 21 News at 6 and 11, and across our social media platforms as well. I'll pop in with more updates here and there throughout the day, and certainly on Monday when I'm back in the studio. I'll see you then, and have a great rest of your Sunday.